Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. So I just literally got done rolling credits on South of Midnight, and I just kind of want to give my thoughts on the game. It came out, I believe, a week or two ago, and I've been playing it kind of steady for the past couple weeks. Not really it's not a long game by any means. I think it's like maybe 6, 7 hours, 8 hours tops. I just really took my time on it. I was playing other things, catching up on some reading, and the work schedule's kind of been kind of hectic. So I really just kind of took my time with South of Midnight. But this was a game that went straight to Game Pass, and I don't think enough people are talking about this game. This game is absolutely phenomenal. I had so much fun playing this game. It is basically, for the most part, a southern take on Kenna Bridge of Spirits. If you guys played Kenna Bridge of Spirits, it's basically taking that gameplay almost like from mechanic to mechanic. They do some things a little different than Kenna. I think Kenna, the gameplay is more tight, the platforming is tighter on Kenna, but I really enjoyed the story and the lore of South of Midnight. The music is absolutely out of this world phenomenal. Like, I really like the graphics and the stylized graphics that they have in this game. Basically, like, I don't want to put no spoilers away for the story. You're gonna have to kind of play that for yourself. But you're playing this character who is basically, she's like a weaver. This hurricane hits. She's trying to find her mother, and she's going through the South, and you're finding all this different like folklore and stuff like that. And if you're someone like me who's from the South, like I was born in New York, but I am like raised in the South. I've been in the South for the past 35 years of my life. So I really know that Southern lore. I know what it's like to be in a hurricane and alligators and all that stuff. This game really kind of hits home for me on that one. I really love the stylization of this game. Like, I really wish more video games would take note of this. And like, we don't need to have ultra realistic games like Assassin's Creed Shadows or Cyberpunk. Like, I really like just stylized graphics. This is a video game. Not everything has to be a live action movie. And I really appreciate South of Midnight for that. This is a smaller type game, which I absolutely love. I like games that I can just have a lot of replay value. And if the game is short, I'm gonna play the game. I will play this game way more than I would play something like God of War Ragnarok or Spider-Man 2. Those games are fine, but those are like 30-hour games. I don't have time to replay those games again. Even if I'm in the mood, I'm like, man, I'm really in the mood to play Spider-Man or God of War. I won't play those games because there's just too much of an investment into it. Where South of Midnight is like, hey, I want to play a really fun platformer with great music. I'm gonna play South of Midnight. Like I said, this game borrows a lot of mechanics from Kenna Bridge of Spirits. I think after playing both of them, I still prefer Kenna Bridge of Spirits. That was a game that I beat in like 5 times, and much like South of Midnight, it is like a 7, 8 hour game. I think the gameplay mechanics in Kenna is superior to South of Midnight, but they borrow a lot of inspiration from that game. This game has a lot of really fun things about it. The music, man, I've been, me personally, I've been binging the music like as I'm working. I just have the complete soundtrack just playing as I'm working. I really, really enjoy the music in this game, the atmosphere, like the platforming. It has a way to make it like action packed platforming. There's not really puzzles. There's not puzzles, but there are like things you can do with like this little character, Crouton. He goes in like this little thing. The Crouton thing started getting old quick. Like, it was fine when it was first introduced, but toward the end of the game, I believe there's 14 chapters. The last chapter you don't even play, right? The last chapter is just a cutscene. Spoiler alert. But the crouton thing started getting pretty old quick. But this game really surprised me. I loved everything about it. Like I said, this is something I think Microsoft needs to promote a little bit more. I have no doubt that this is going to be going to the PlayStation console and probably even the Nintendo Switch. I played it on PC, a little bit on the Xbox, but mostly on PC, and I just had a lot of fun just diving into the world of South of Midnight. I think Microsoft has a real hit here. I think Compulsions did a really good job with this game. I'm not the biggest fan of Compulsion, but I think they really knocked it out of the park with this game. I want to see more promotion on this game. I really do. I want to see. I don't even care if this goes to other platforms. I want to see more promotion on this game because more people need to play this game. I absolutely had a blast playing it, and Xbox is just hitting it out of the park. Literally today, before I finished this game, we got the Oblivion remastered reveal, which I'm going to be starting up very soon. We have the Expedition 33 game, which is coming out in the next day or so, which I'm looking forward to. And then we have Doom Dark Ages. Like I've said this before to my brother that Microsoft might not be winning in terms of console sales, but they're winning this generation. They have way more titles available than the PlayStation platform. They are way more consumer friendly than the PlayStation and the Nintendo platform. Like you can either buy the games, you can get Game Pass. There's so many different outlets to purchase and play these games. If you are someone who is looking down on the Nintendo Switch 2 for being overpriced and Mario Kart Worlds being $80, or someone like Sony who's charging like $70 for their games, and the consoles keeps going up in price and the hardware keeps going up in price. I really think you pick up like an Xbox Series S for like $300 in Game Pass, and you can enjoy like all these type of games. It's just phenomenal. I'm lucky where I have a PC build, so I can play it on PC and I can play it over on console. But really, I feel like Microsoft is just really knocking it out of the park, and I don't think a lot of people are giving them the credit that they deserve by them, just putting out such banger titles. They have way more games out now than PlayStation has, and the games that PlayStation does, like they just released like the Last of Us Collector's Edition. This is like the 8th time The Last of Us has been put remastered or relaunched or whatever. That's all really they have at this point. Unless the Insomniac comes out with another game, because the Insomniac is really what's the only company that Sony has that's keeping them afloat. But Sony's just money hatting other games and making them console exclusive. Sony didn't make those games. Games like Stellar Blade, which was supposed to be multi-platform, Sony just took it over. And I didn't mean for this to get into a Sony rant, but what I'm trying to say is games like South of Midnight is the reason why I think Microsoft is really winning this generation, is because we're getting great games and they're putting out games steadily. It was touch and go for the first year or two. I'm not going to deny that by any means. But as the generation has gone, when you're taking into account how much games are, the price point of these things, what you can do with Game Pass, I think Microsoft is really just knocking it out of the park. So that's just my thoughts on it, guys. South of Midnight, I highly recommend it. It's a phenomenal game with great music, great lore, and great mechanics, and I can't recommend it enough. If you want me to put a score on it, I would give South of Midnight probably a good 7.5 to an 8 out of 10. I think it belongs around that 75-80% mark. Like, it's a very, very solid game. It's not mind blowing, but not every game needs to be mind blowing. It just needs to be fun, entertaining, and a great time. And that's South of Midnight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will check you guys out next time.